Hey everybody, and welcome to a special St. Patrick's Day edition of Cooking a la Quarantine. I'm your favorite leprechaun, Jason, and today I'm going to teach you how to make corned beef and pastrami from scratch. Now, I know I look ridiculous, but you guys haven't seen anything yet. I got to take these glasses off, they're giving me a headache. So this is going to be the adult grown-up version of St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to teach you how to make corned beef and pastrami all from scratch. Now it's two separate things, and it's two separate processes. Pastrami is a little different than corned beef because you boil the corned beef and you smoke the pastrami. So anyway, we'll slice it up, we'll make sandwiches out of it, you better believe it. But here's the whole process. And I can't say anything more than thank you to Harris Robinette Beef for giving us two wonderful 5-pound briskets, which I'm going to hopefully turn into some wonderful stuff. And if you're wondering if you can catch them on the internet, you can. And you can also find them at Butcher Box and now at every Food Lion in North Carolina. So with that being said, let's get started. Corned beef is your typical recipe that everybody has corned beef and cabbage, and that's what we'll do. And with pastrami, I'm going to make some really good pastrami sandwiches on rye. I might even make the rye, I don't know. But here's what I've got. I've got kosher salt, sea salt, brown sugar, saltpeter, cinnamon stick, mustard seeds, peppercorns, cloves, allspice, juniper berries, bay leaves, and ground ginger. Now, that's for the corned beef. For the pastrami, I've got salt, brown sugar, black pepper, pickling spice, liquid smoke, garlic powder, and bay leaves. So here's the whole thing. This is why I'm starting this early, because it takes 7 to 10 days to brine this stuff. And you can do it a couple of different ways. You can use, these things are jumbo store. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to make up our brine. Now, one thing I read was to use distilled water when you make a brine because bacteria, well water, city water, whatever. So spend the 85 cents and buy one of these. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go grab Big Greenie. We're going to bring it over here. I'm going to set this up. I'm going to get it going. And we'll go from there. We'll be right back. All right, so what we're going to start out with is the corned beef. You can buy corned beef already set up and everything, but we're going to start from scratch because why not? Now, any good St. Patrick's Day, you know, we could do this. I'm going to support local. So here's what we've got. We've got our Tarboro Blushing Rogue Red Irish Beer in our Tarboro Brewing glass. Let's see if I can still do this after all these years. How many college graduates does it take to pour a beer? Up. Still got it. So, anyway, here's what we're going to do. The whole thing with cooking is it's chemistry. It's all about preservatives and how to get everything to work and whatever else. Kosher salt, sea salt, does not have iodine in it. Here are the two big things with these recipes. All right, so with this recipe, you have to use saltpeter, okay? It's a curing salt. It's right here. This by itself is poisonous, so don't let your dogs or your kids anywhere near this stuff. But if you add certain things, it's okay. It's sodium nitrate, for those of you that didn't pay attention in chemistry class. But anyway, kosher salt doesn't really have anything to do with anything more than preserving meat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a cup of this in, because again, we're preserving the meat. So I'm going to put a cup of this in here, and we're going to go from there. I'm going to be right back. So we've got our 1 cup of kosher salt. We got a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And by the way, according to my father-in-law, to keep brown sugar from getting all stiff, put a piece of bread in there. So that's a half cup of brown sugar. Now, 2 tablespoons of saltpeter. Like I said, I bought this off of Amazon. It's made in the USA. It's bright pink. And it says 2 tablespoons. And this is for a 5-pound brisket, so all right, now calls for a cinnamon stick, which I just happen to have. 1 cinnamon stick, 1 teaspoon of mustard seeds. I just happen to have. And 1 teaspoon of black peppercorn. You know, it's absolutely amazing when you start cooking how much stuff you actually start using that you've never thought you'd use before. So, now, for those of you who, like me, grew up watching like I said, I never know what I'm doing, but I probably shouldn't do this, but I did. Those of you that grew up using Sesame Street, one, two, three, four. All right, so I have to count this out because if you do it wrong, it might screw it up. 1, 2, these are cloves. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, whoever said Sesame Street is useless is definitely wrong, because that was my best count at doing the count. So we've got 8 whole cloves, 8 whole allspice berries, which are right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Boy, I can count. Now, I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. If you like gin, basically gin is vodka with juniper berries and some other stuff. So these are juniper berries. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, somebody's probably sitting there going, why are you counting this out? Again, cooking is like chemistry. If you add too much to it, you can screw it up. And I'm not going to screw up a 5-pound brisket. So I'm going to get 2 bay leaves here and a ½ teaspoon of ground ginger. So here we are. Did I get, well, where is the, here we are. ½ teaspoon of ground ginger. Now, this is everything for the corned beef, except for 2 cups of water. Now, again, I don't know exactly, I've never made a brine with distilled water, but, you know, this is going to go in for 10 days, and somebody said, you know, we really need to do this and whatever, so I'm going to do that. I mean, it's only 80 cents, and I use it for my CPAP anyway. So it's like, whatever. All right, so 2 cups of this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna boil it, and I'm gonna dissolve all the salts, all the sugars, and then we're gonna get this to cool, and then I'm gonna bag up the 5-pound brisket. Again, the red is the corned beef, and then we're gonna move on to the pastrami, so we'll be right back. So I'm still getting used to wearing reading glasses because I'm 42, but what I thought was 2 cups is actually 2 quarts. So that's a half gallon, which makes more sense. So I filled up this 1 time, and I filled up the little cup thing 4 times. So if you just get a quart jar, fill it up twice, you're good to go. All right, now we're gonna do pastrami. 5/6 of a cup of salt. Half a cup of light brown sugar. Eight tablespoons black pepper. And the interesting thing about this is when we get done with this, I'm going to coat it with black pepper and coriander. So, you know, but the longer it stays in a brine, the more flavor it gets. But, all right, so I put the 8 tablespoons of pepper in there. Now we're putting in 2 teaspoons of pickling spice. And then 4 tablespoons of liquid smoke. All right, so, and 4 teaspoons of garlic powder. Now, 6 bay leaves, and then I'm going to add 2 cups, I said it again, it's 2 quarts of distilled water. Now, all right, now here's the thing with the water, and here's what you need to understand. This stuff's got to be cooled before you put the meat in there, because you don't want to cook the meat using hot water. It's got to be room temperature. And then I'm gonna put it in a food saver bag and seal it up and put it in the fridge for about 10 days. And see, all this salt is what helps preserve it. And that's how you preserve meat. That's why, you know, during the Civil War, they used to serve what was called salt pork. And basically, it's country ham on steroids. So, here we go. The green is the pastrami, and I'm going to go throw this on the cooktop. And we'll be back in about 2 hours when it cools down. So it's been a couple hours, and we've got our brines that are all cooled down. Okay, the red one is the corned beef. We're going to do that first. And then we've got our big greenie's got pastrami, and that's both in our coated cast irons. So here again, we've got our Harris Robinette brisket, and we're going to turn it into some yummy goodness. Now, you can find him at Butcher Box, on his website, and now in Food Lion. So, what I find absolutely amazing about this process is it's using the same cut of meat and making 2 separate different things with it. Now, I'm going to stretch this out, put it in the bag, and that would really happen because it really did. And I always wipe stuff down when I get through with all this, but basically, we've got a big sock here. Open it up, just like that. Now, I'm gonna go wash my hands because I touched a bunch of raw meat, and we'll be right back. All right, so we've got these, both of them are submerged and they're in containers, and we're gonna put these in the fridge for 14 days. So, Alexa, set a reminder in 14 days to take the meat out of the fridge. Remember, folks, be kind, be excellent to each other, and I'll catch you in 14 days when we finish this out.